What is up, everybody? It's your boy Duty back again with another video, and your boy Duty had to take a break. He had to go to the supermarket and buy some cheese because our boy Phil is doing nothing but whining. That's right. And what goes best with wine? Cheese. And I bought Phil a lot of it because he was just doing some excessive whining on his daily rap video. So much it was nearly 12 minutes of him complaining about the Mortal Kombat multiplayer. That's right, folks. The cope and the salt is there. Your boy Duty helped you out though. He sped it up a little bit. He got it down to about 8 minutes. So let's see what Phil had to say on the daily rap.
Your main stream was going to be Mortal Kombat 1 online ranked multiplayer. I had done some ranked multiplayer last week, but that was just a tiny bit with Havoc, and then about 90 minutes with Raiden, but both of those streams had been paired with single-player content in Invasion mode to unlock the stuff that I needed for multiplayer. Now we've unlocked it all, so it was time to actually have a major stream. So I selected Sindel as the character who I wanted to use this time around. I thought I had liked her when I used her in the story of the game last week, and basically I went into training mode, then I went to her trials. I learned a few things doing that. I was happy I did, because I learned a couple different strategies and juggles, and I said, alright, let's go online. Let's see how it goes. First of all, just apples to apples comparison. The connections in Mortal Kombat 1 are nowhere near as good as Street Fighter 6. Alright, and this is the final game. This is not, oh, you're comparing the beta to the final game or anything. These are both final games. When I play Street Fighter 6, the best connection I usually get is around 18 milliseconds. The worst I get is over 100. But on average, most of my matches are anywhere between 10 to 40, sometimes 50, and really, if we're pushing it, 60 to 80 milliseconds. But most of them veering towards the lower end of that ratio. Today, full stream of Mortal Kombat 1. The best connection I had was 50 milliseconds. Most connections were between 60 to 80. I had maybe 5 or more above 100. And the thing about it is, they don't let you back out. So let's say you're searching ranked, and you find someone. The moment it finds someone, you have to accept, or it says it will penalize you for quitting. But then why are you showing me the connection quality? If I can't quit out because the connection sucks, why would you even give me the option to ready up or not? Why would you even show me the connection quality? You're not giving me an option to deny it because it's not good. So right off the bat, that's terrible, okay? Now, the matchmaking. It's terrible. Why do I say that? Because essentially, in Mortal Kombat 1, every single character has an insane combo. Every character in the game has around a 50% or more damage combo that's easy to pull off. Now, I haven't done any research on the game like a lot of other people have. I didn't, learn this stuff ahead of time. I'm very much a beginner, just trying very basic stuff with Sindel. So you would think, oh, well that means I'm just going to face people who are also just starting off like me. No, because the way Mortal Kombat 1 works, unlike Street Fighter 6, it makes one ranked ranking for everything. In Street Fighter 6, each rank is for each character. So let's say you're really good with Ryu and you get him to master level, but then you want to play with Zangief. Well, I don't know anything about Zangief. Should you start at master level? Of course not. But that's how it works in Mortal Kombat 1. So because I had gotten wins with Havoc and Raiden, a few days ago, they just threw me right into the wolves, even though I was using a new character and didn't know what I was doing with Sindel. So it was like, wow. Round 1, fight. Hit, juggle, 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 juggle. Here comes a cameo to continue the juggle, 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 juggle. You lost 60% health. Throw mix up. Hit, juggle, 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 juggle. Round 1's over. Huh?
Okay, now that we have Phil in full clown mode, let's talk a little bit about what he had to say. So the key word there, if you heard it, he said he did no research. So whose fault is that, Phil? Whose fault is that you're not prepared to do your job? You only have one job, Phil, that you like to call. And when I say job, I'm putting air quotes, folks. You only have one job to do, Phil, and that's to stream games. And part of that is being good at it, or trying to be good at it. And what is required of that is actually learning the game, knowing the game, and preparing. I don't see what the problem is. You do it with Street Fighter. You look at tech videos, you look at other people's gameplay so that you can learn stuff. You probably play the game offline. Why can't you do the same thing for Mortal Kombat and any other game? Your excuse that you don't want to be spoiled, or you just want to give a, your raw, unedited, unfiltered playthrough, and you want that to come off on your videos is nonsense, Phil. It just is. You're just lazy. You hate games. You don't want to play games. You don't play games when you're off stream. You rather do other things like be on Twitter and order DoorDash and play WWE Champions. I don't understand why a man who only, air quote, works 6 hours a day can't find an hour or two a day to game, especially when their wife does nothing but sit home and play Starfield. It's not like you have children. It's not like you have any other responsibilities, Phil, but to try to be good at what you do. And you refuse to do that because, again, you're lazy. So you complaining that you don't know or you're not familiar with the Mortal Kombat mechanics and how to play, that is your fault. You failed to prepare. You failed to actually learn how to do your job. It's like any other job, Phil. If you go to a business and you get an office job, right? Let's use the helicopter company in your case, right? And you go in and you don't bother to learn your job. You don't bother to take the initiative to learn the processes, to learn how the flow of the work happens. That's your fault. What's going to happen is you're going to lose your job, Phil. And it's the same thing with streaming. If you don't prepare and you don't take it seriously and you're not willing to put in the time to actually be good at it, you're going to lose your, air quote again, job, Phil. And that's why people criticize you. That's the reason why This Is How You Don't Play became so popular, because people saw a person making a living playing video games and they put minimum effort. And that's what spawned This Is How You Don't Play. And that's why most people criticize you. They criticize you because you're lazy. You are. And the simple fact is that you're ranting and raving for 11 minutes about Mortal Kombat multiplayer is laughable, because you could have prevented this. You could have taken the additional time to research and learn and play it off stream so you wouldn't be so terrible.
I didn't get to press a button. Like, I didn't even know what I was doing. I'm trying to learn the game. Is there any way I can play online and learn? No. So the connections overall much worse than Street Fighter 6, and the ranking system terrible. Okay? The gameplay of Mortal Kombat 1, it's really infantile. I'm sorry to say that. It's so basic. It feels like you're playing Mortal Kombat 9, except it doesn't have the neutral ground bounce punches anymore. But outside of that, it almost feels like you're playing a game from 10 years ago. They haven't advanced the combat engine much at all in that time. The advancements they made in Mortal Kombat 11, they backed up on in MK1 and removed. It just feels like you're playing MK10 with a new cameo assist, and that's it. It's almost identical. It's just very basic high-low mix-up, you know, and if you try to block on reaction, good luck with those connections. It'd be one thing if the connections were good, but they're not. So people just get away with, oh, low hit into giant combo, one high hit overhit into giant combo, and that's the whole game. In Street Fighter 6, you've got all these elements, right? You've got drive rush, drive impact, drive reversal, drive parry, perfect parry, okay? That's just a few. I mean, there's so many things with footsies, with tech, with combos, all this stuff that you can do. Literally, none of that is in Mortal Kombat. You've got high-low mix-ups, you've got EX version of moves, and you've got Fatal Blow that you do once around, and there's a combo breaker. It's so basic that playing the game, I'll be honest, after having played Street Fighter 6 competitively now for 4 months, this game is boring as dirt. Even the matches that I won, because even though at first I lost a ton, I started to get the hang of it and understand what people were doing, got around their basic bullshit and started basically outplaying them. It wasn't that I had more knowledge. I didn't. I don't even know good combos with Sindel. But again, having fighting game basics, I know what they're trying to do, so I kind of get around some of it and I would still win. So I still have a winning record in the game. I've won more than I've lost. But even when I won, I was bored to tears. I just wasn't having a good time. And essentially what I'd like you to do, if you're interested, watch the set from today. It's 3 videos. It's 3 hours of gameplay. Let me know what you think. I really need your feedback, because I'm going to be honest with you guys. After today, I don't know if I ever want to play it again. If I'm going to play a fighting game, I want to play the one that I know is better, the one that I'm better at, and I'm going to actually get something out of long term, which would be Street Fighter 6, rather than sinking more time into a game that plays really inferior and just has terrible online experience, and it's so basic. Again, it feels like minor leagues versus professional. It's just, and it's what's sad about this is, the time frame that I played Mortal Kombat, the last decade or so, since MK9 came out, Street Fighter sucked, right? Like, Street Fighter 5 was awful. So it was good to have this alternative, although I never really sunk a lot of time into it. It was good to have a mess-around game. But now that I've played a much better fighting game in Street Fighter 6, I can't really stomach Mortal Kombat. I couldn't believe how bad it was compared to its contemporary. I'll talk more in detail about this, how I think that basically what's happened is that Street Fighter 6 tried to excel, and Mortal Kombat just tried to stay the same, and that's not good enough anymore. So I'll talk about this tomorrow on the podcast more in depth, and we'll try to come to a determination. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. The people watching me play the game were like, just play Street Fighter 6. And I was like, well, no, I'm not going to quit now. I promised everyone a 3-hour stream of Mortal Kombat 1. And there were literally people begging me to stop playing and play Street Fighter 6 instead, because they hated it. So, let me know what you think. I'm curious. I'm all ears. I want feedback. And I'd like to hear your feedback on the situation. Tomorrow we'll talk about this in depth on the podcast in the morning. Okay? Tonight's late stream was Starfield, now hitting its late night stride, because from now on it's going to be a late night chill stream.
Okay, so yeah, that went on mighty long there, and I apologize, but your boy Duty had to report the news and report the daily wrap, and actually report the whine that our boy Phil is doing right here, it's just ridiculous. The cope is beyond the pale. And of course, he's going to talk about it today on his podcast. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a 30-minute segment on his podcast because he has nothing else to talk about Mortal Kombat, and he's just going to regurgitate the same thing he just said today. And his Starfield playthrough last night was him complaining about Mortal Kombat. Why? Not because the game is bad, because he was terrible at the game. And Phil has this complex about himself that he must be seen as a good gamer, as a competent gamer, especially when it comes to fighting games, because that's supposed to be his bread and butter. And it's a shot to his ego for him to think that anyone would think he's a bad fighting player. And it's pathetic. He reminds me so much of Wings. Wings, when he played the reason why Wings doesn't play Call of Duty anymore is because of its KD. His KD is terrible. His KD is always like under 1. And he puts so much self-value in himself based off of his KD in a first-person shooter. And the reason why he does it is because he really has nothing else going on in his life. Phil has nothing really else going on in his life. He has no friends, no families, no hobbies, no philanthropy, no volunteerism, nothing. He has streaming and begging. That's all he has, streaming and begging. And when you don't have nothing, you grasp at the slightest thing to have meaning. That's why Phil talks a lot about meaningful content, meaningful this, because he's grasping at straws trying to find meaning in this life. And that happens a lot too with people that and this isn't a religious spiel, whatever, but people that say that don't have religion in their life. A lot of people, there's a good majority of people in this world that put their meaning, as Phil likes to say, in religion, in some type of spirituality, thinking that there is a higher power. They tend to strive to either, be a better person, either be a better Christian, a better Muslim, a better Jew, a better, Buddhist, whatever it may be. And Phil has none of that. He has a roommate and a pet cat. That's it. And you notice his life kind of surrounds around his streaming, the begging, and Street Fighter, and his cat. It really doesn't focus much around Cat, his wife, because she's not a part of anything that he does. He is not. She's not in his streams. We never see her. Most of us assume that she's not even there, which your boy's on Team Divorce there, and he thinks she's gone. And yeah, when you don't have any true meaning in your life, you grasp at the slightest things. And for Phil, he finds meaning and purpose in how he does in a fighting game, or how he's perceived in a fighting game, which is quite sad. So anyway, that's it. I wanted to share that whine from Phil. Expect more of it on the podcast. I'm pretty sure he's going to dedicate a good 30 minutes to tell you why what you saw of the multiplayer Mortal Kombat gameplay really didn't mean what you thought you saw. So he'll explain it away and make you aware that you're stupid and you don't know what you're talking about, and your eyes are deceiving you. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.